Hello. Hi, I'm Gem and welcome to Quirky Gems. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my time away from social media, how it was, how I found it, and what I learned. So, let's get started, shall we? I am on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Gems Quirky. You can also find the banner right here. And I have been on both of them for around about 2 years. I started on Instagram first. I'll be honest, I'm more attracted to images. You know, anyone that knows me usually can find me taking photographs of my cats or something along those lines. I am a creative. It's got to be done. So I have been also known as being a podcaster. You might know me from my podcast. I was going to say radio show then, but podcast. It's Quirky Gems. You can also find it right here. And I started Instagram and Twitter around about 2 years ago, as I just mentioned. Don't know why I repeated that. And I'll be honest with you, when I first logged into Instagram, it was very validating. My journey is that back then, I was just someone that had chronic illnesses and I wanted to see what the hype was about Instagram. And Instagram and Twitter are very different platforms anyway. So I wanted to see what the hype was. My siblings are on Instagram as well, so I stay connected to my younger brother, and we share. It's another way of making sure that he's okay, basically. That's what social media is there for, right? To connect you. And it's great because you're able to share photos and you're able to share it with people that you might not get to see all the time. When you're a part of a community though, I guess that's where it comes into a different field. I was a part of a chronic illness community, and since the age of 12 I've had chronic migraines. When I hit 25 they came into my life again and really turned my life upside down. When I saw other people going through the same health conditions, it was like, oh, okay, there are people out there that are going through the same lifestyle as I am. However, I got the validation. I didn't even know I was looking for it, but I got the validation. That was great. But I guess like everything, you evolve. And as you evolve, you grow and you outgrow certain things. And I found that I wanted to try different things. So I decided to do a podcast called Quirky Gems. Probably if you've heard of it, you can find it here. I'll also link the website down below. And I was happy doing that. I had background in radio. I was happy doing that, and that to me felt like the natural progression. Doing that though, I realised I wasn't actually as happy as I thought I was in the chronic illness community. The reason why is because when you have chronic illnesses such like myself, I'll be honest, I don't wake up every day and think I've got this, that and the other, it's going to be a shit day, basically. I wake up and I want to plan ahead. I figure I'm not going back, I'm not staying still, I'm literally planning ahead every day. And what I found was that when I kept looking on my news feeds, especially Instagram, people are great at sharing awareness for illnesses. And that's great, but I found that memes were starting to annoy me. I would look on my newsfeed and I'd see a meme about fibromyalgia, about endometriosis, showing like a sanitary product with blood on it. And to me, I kind of found it a bit much, and I kind of found like, to be honest, the awareness is there, it's just not hitting the right people. And it seemed to be kind of like that saying, you're preaching to the choir. Everyone might have the same chronic illness, but you're pretty much saying we're on our own against the world. And to me, I found that a bit negative. That was my perception of it. Twitter for me was slightly different because you've got different people on different platforms and everybody has their own one that they like. So it came to a head about 2 weeks ago, round about now, I lose track of time to be honest, but around about 2 weeks ago, my other half was saying, how about, you just take a break, give it a week, come off of everything and see how you feel. So I figured then that time I would do a YouTube. Me and my brother were talking about doing a YouTube, not together, separately. And so I was talking about it with my other half and also with my mum, and they were both supportive, and I thought I'll do a YouTube. If people remember where to go to my Etsy shop and my website, they'll know where to find me. The first day of the break, I'll be honest, it was a break in my routine. The very first thing I do when I wake up usually is, once I've kind of stretched and everything else, picture Snow White here, there's birds singing, that kind of thing. Yeah, like, can you imagine? And I usually come downstairs, I usually have breakfast, and after I've eaten breakfast, I usually look on my Instagram, and I usually check my Etsy shop, see if there's any orders, that kind of thing. And it became part of my routine. Then I thought to myself, what is it I'm actually looking for when I look first thing in the morning on my Instagram account? What is it I'm looking for? And I figured that I'm looking for that. It's only happened twice. Total transparency, it's only happened twice. And that is that what I discovered is that what I was looking for was someone to comment me on an image I put up through my jewellery making or my Etsy shop to say, oh, I've just bought this, can't wait for it to can't wait for it to arrive. And I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10 that didn't happen. And I also found that I was comparing myself a lot. When I took Instagram and Twitter out of the equation, I'll be honest, I had way more energy and way more time to do different things. I was planning things for the shop, to go up. I was planning on the projects I was going to do. I felt kind of more calmer, and I felt as though I'm okay. I don't need to upload a photograph for like 100 people, if that, to like. And it's okay if you don't have 1,000 and something followers. I noticed prior to the break that was what Instagram was all about. I noticed it on TV. People are saying, oh, this person has a lot of followers, they're doing grand. And it's like, how unhealthy is that mindset? I mean, let's be honest. So when I came off of Instagram and Twitter, it took me 2 days, and then I got a text from someone that I'd actually met on Instagram, and they asked me if I was okay. And 2 or 3 days in, people were texting me to say, you're right, Jem, are you okay? We haven't seen you, we haven't seen any stories. And I thought, that to me was validating, because it was like, okay, wow. I mean, people out there actually miss you. Wow, that's really, did not see that coming. And I'll be honest, it was quite touching, how you had someone on Instagram might have asked someone else on Instagram if you were okay. How do I get a hold of Jem? There's no way of doing it. And, I had 1 or 2 people pass on messages to other people, like, if you want to contact Jem, here's the website, you can do it through the contact form, this kind of thing. And I actually, a friend of mine was also going on a Instagram break, and every day we were actually, I started mine first, but every day we were texting each other to see like how it was going. And I'll be honest with you, we also discovered why we use Instagram, what we use it for. For me, it was basically a form of advertising. I use it in the form of sharing what I have to offer the world. I guess that kind of bleeds into the whole comparison thing. A lot of things on Instagram are fake. You could be having someone with a really crap day, all they got to do is shove a lot of makeup on their face or have a decent filter, they'll take a snap and they're done. And, living my best life and all this crap, and it's like, really? Grand, how great for you. But for me, I noticed that my mental health actually got a lot better through not being on social media a lot. Now, prior to the break, I went on social media in the morning, after I'd had my lunch, after I've had my tea, so the main meal of the day, and then just before bed. And usually it was just because I wanted to see if people were looking at my items, because to me they were the most important thing. I wanted them to see what I had to offer and think they're good enough to buy. I wanted to think, okay, I'd like you to see my Etsy shop, I'd like you to check out my YouTube. And also, when I did the YouTube video, I noticed that people were looking and I had views, and I thought, oh, okay, so people can find me, people can find the videos without me having to be online. Being online isn't the be all and end all, and to me that was quite validating. Within day 4, I'll be honest, I had a completely different mindset, and it was a positive one. I wasn't missing Instagram, I wasn't missing Twitter at all, I wasn't missing the algorithms. I was lucky enough that before I went, around about a year ago, where I used to do interviews on my podcast, I had people's numbers. So if I want to check in on them, I could drop a text. And it was quite, I guess you could call it a bit of fate and destiny, I guess, because I didn't realise the coronavirus was going to take place. And somebody else I know on Instagram, like, you know, messaged me and they said, oh, it's a good job you did take a break because that is all you're hearing about. Twitter, to be honest, it wasn't having that much of an effect, but there were a few times where if we needed to contact a company, that I would have to get onto Twitter, and that's what kind of broke the break, I guess. That's what did it, because I had to contact a company to say, you know, I need your help, and if you tweet a company, they, you know, they message you back. So that was like what broke it, but that to me was more practical because not everyone can get on a landline or a mobile and call a call centre. Sometimes it is just easier to send a direct message or a tweet through Twitter, you know. When I decided to go back, I'll be honest with you, I kind of felt like all the hard work that I put in with my Etsy shop, that was the main driving force, because I think it was that I decided to go back onto Instagram, and I thought, I'm putting so much hard work into this, you know, it's something that I really want to take off, it's something that I feel like I found my thing, and I wanted it to be like, I don't want just coming off social media to be something like all the hard work goes out the window. So I decided to go back onto Instagram, and I decided to share a post, and that is kind of what the thing was. That was what my break was. When I came off of social media in a mindfulness way, I wasn't comparing myself whatsoever, and I noticed that the people around me, I was talking to people, as you can tell, I'm a natterbox, you know, and you know, I would hang out with my other half, and I would just be gems. You know, I didn't have to worry about comparison. I didn't have to worry about taking a picture of everything. I didn't have to worry about, you know, sharing the good days and the bad days. I'll be honest, if you follow me on Instagram, I rarely share my bad days because to me that's private. We know what the illnesses are. We know what they are. If you don't have them, someone you know will. And for me, I wanted to move away from that community. I wanted to move away from the whole thing of, woe is me, I have chronic illness. Don't be wrong, as I said, you know, awareness is there and people are using the platform for awareness. But a lot of the time they share the same memes, they talk about the same things. And it's kind of like, literally, it's like a bit of Chinese whispers in a way. You've got the same people talking about the same thing a lot of the time. For me, I noticed that naturally I'm evolving into a different community. I found that I wanted to follow people that were in a business community. I wanted to follow Etsy shop owners, you know. I wanted to be a part of something different. I kind of came to acceptance, sorry if you could hear that, they choose the worst times, but I came to acceptance that I'm not a part of that mindset. I'm not a part of that community that kind of says, you know, I've got fibro and I've got this and I'm dying, that kind of thing. Yeah, living with chronic illnesses is tough. You're going to have bad days. But I wanted to concentrate on something that can get you there, you know, get you moving forward. I wanted to concentrate on, you know, my business. That's another thing as well. I felt comparison because I thought I've got a tiny little Etsy shop. Everything in it is handmade. Everything in it is made with love. And I noticed that, I don't know, I wanted to focus more on that because that to me was my future. That was something I had control over. With my illnesses, I know the patterns and the symptoms, but I wanted to concentrate on that. I wanted to concentrate on making stuff because that is what I am. That is what I'm known for. And so I decided that in moving forward, that is what I'm going to do with my social media. I'll be honest, also, a lot of the time, when you have chronic illnesses, I think another thing that I found is that the people that you would classify as your online friends, to me, friendship means something different. I grew up in the 90s, so if you met somebody, like if you wanted to become somebody's friend, you had to know them face to face, and then you hang out, you might play a bit of PlayStation, you might, I don't know, do a bit of beading together, have a natter about your favourite, you know, college course or whatever. That was how, it was more interaction face to face. Now though, however, it seems to be that more interaction takes place online. And so my definition of a friend is a little bit different. And I'll be honest, with the coronavirus, I've also noticed that what I was looking for in a friend, I've actually found. But sorry, I'm sat on my legs, that's why I'm moving all over the place in the frame. Oh, how professional, right? But for me, I noticed that since the coronavirus, the people that text you, people might have your mobile number from social media, people that you are in constant connection with, people that you talk to, and it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. I talk to people about a whole range of different things. I could talk to someone about blogging, and that's what I want. I want to talk to people about different things. Like, I love how now I do makeup tutorials on here. I might get a text from a friend saying, I watched your makeup tutorial, or how's a knitting project going, or I talk to someone that owns their own business. And to me, I want that variety, because you learn so much more. And it's with the coronavirus that cemented what I was looking for, and that was offline. I'm great. Offline, I've got amazing people around me. We're all mad. That's a given. Look who's talking, right? I don't think I can handle sane people. What do you do with them? Do you talk to them? Do you offer them chocolate? I don't know. So for me, I noticed that since the virus, the people that text me to say, "Hi Jem, you alright?" Or "How are you going?" Or "Are you okay?" Everyone's in the same boat, but I noticed that the amount of friendships I've had 2 people from Instagram, one that I text near enough every day, and the other one that, even though she's in another country, she offered, and 2 people out of my Instagram community offered to see if I was okay, if I needed anything, and if so, they would happily send me stuff, and we could, if they could find it in the shops, they could do it. And that to me was what I was looking for in a community. That to me, that loyalty means so much more. And to me, it's all about also sharing what you have and hoping people will support you. If I had somebody that was a friend, and they had, say, a blog or a shop, if I found their blog or shop really cool, I would help share that. I would, if I bought something, I would share it. I'd share it on my stories. I'd share it on here so that other people can find it and be like, yeah, check this out. Oh my God, this is amazing. I found, though, a lot of the time with people in your community, I don't know if it's because on a level they don't want to support you because that means you're moving forward. I don't know how people think and feel. No 2 people think and feel the same thing. But for me, I just noticed that it was beginning to get negative and it was affecting my mental health. So that was why I took the break, and that was the lessons that I did learn. Moving forward, I just talk mainly about my shop and my creativity, because that's what I want people to think. Oh, Jem's got a makeup tutorial. Oh, let's have a laugh. Let's get inspired. I'm going to be hopefully doing a video about what I've been up to, or what I'm hoping to do, energy providing, the coronavirus. And it's just so fascinating, that how life does what it does, and the lessons that you learn. So for me, I don't share pictures of my family on Instagram or on Twitter, because to me that's private, and I think you have to have some sort of mystery. And I don't show pictures of, well, I show pictures of my cats, they're cute. Come on, you've got to do that. You've got to commit to that. They're gorgeous. But for me, I don't share pictures of my other half. I rarely share pictures of my siblings. I rarely share pictures of my mum. And that's because of the whole branding thing. That's another thing that I was comparing myself with. With the branding of my my Etsy shop, I noticed that, as I said, I was a part of this thing called, it was like a movement for creative people to share their creativeness, I guess, their shops, what they do. And I found that it was really heavy on me, really, to kind of be like advertising. Sure, I'm looking at a birdhouse and getting inspired while I talk. It's this way my brain works. And to me, it was mainly about comparison. You're small, you're insignificant, you're a speck in the great big scheme of businesses. And I was also suffering from imposter syndrome as well. I was suffering from the whole thing of, you have an Etsy shop, but you know, you can't pay your bills from it, can you? You can't, you know, and this is how I was talking to myself. So one thing I have learned is that you are enough, and it's okay to go at your own pace, and not everyone's going to be doing the same thing, and that's okay. So that is what I learned from my time away from Instagram and Twitter. So I hope you found this video helpful. Maybe you feel the same. If you don't, everyone's different. You know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. If you do feel the same, or maybe you're deciding to have a break, it came naturally, it came organically to me. It came really easy. Now, I'll be honest, I'm more of a texter. So I'm more into texting people than going online, because I think people just scroll for the sake of scrolling. And so for me, I just text, or pretty much just text. I'm not much of a phone call type of person, but yeah, I'll text to see how people are. And I kind of thought of that as a vulnerability, but it's not. It's just a form of communication and connection. And I think that I'd much rather be remembered for that than how many followers I've got. You know, because when you think about it, if you walk down the street and you had a bunch of people following you, don't know about you, but that would strike me as odd. You know, I mean, it hasn't happened. Don't want it to happen. And with the pandemic happening, that would be worrying. But yeah, so that was my week away from social media and Twitter. Instagram and Twitter. So, why did you have to say that? Social media. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please do give it a massive thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, great. If you want to follow me, great. And make sure you press the bell so you'll never miss a video. Thank you so much for all the messages as well. I know that my makeup tutorials have made some laugh. It isn't planned, it's just me. Yeah, okay, so I will catch you later. Thank you so much for listening, and yeah, take it easy, and I'll be back very soon about the projects that I'm going to be doing, hopefully energy providing, you know, because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome as well, so that blows. But energy providing, I'll be sharing with you the projects that I'm hoping to do soon. So thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.